Tires screech, engines roar, and somewhere in the smoke, a forgotten film is waiting to blow your mind. Welcome back to Vintageverse, the place to be if you're tired of the same recycled movies and ready to uncover your next cinematic thrill ride. Today, we're shifting into high gear with 10 underrated car movies from the 60s to the 90s. The ones that slipped under the radar, but hit like a sledgehammer when you find them. No CGI, no green screens, just real metal, real roads, and real danger. You ready? Because once we hit play, there's no hitting the brakes. Gone in 60 Seconds, 1974 doesn't wait for plot twists or dramatic monologues. It straps you into a Mustang, slams the pedal, and leaves the story bleeding on the asphalt. The setup? A professional car thief agrees to steal 48 luxury vehicles in 5 days. It sounds slick until he botches one job. That one mistake sparks a 40-minute car chase that levels entire blocks of Long Beach. You heard that right. 40 minutes. No CGI, no green screens. Real cops were nearly hit. Storefronts weren't props. The city didn't approve some of the crashes, they just happened. Director H.B. Helicki starred, produced, and wrecked his own cars. This wasn't a studio stunt team, it was a man on a mission, blowing through insurance limits in LA intersections for the love of the chase. And yet, hardly anyone talks about it. Why? Maybe because it feels illegal. Because it doesn't stop to explain itself. Because its lead character doesn't need a backstory when the rearview mirror shows explosions. People think the 2000 remake is the real deal. They have no idea what they're missing. The original was pure, unapologetic chaos, a DIY legend passed around on VHS like contraband. Underrated? Completely. Unhinged? Absolutely. And that's exactly why it still rips. The job is simple, steal a briefcase. But no one says what's in it. No one trusts each other, and every single person is lying. Ronin kicks off like a spy film, then morphs into something sharper, colder. Robert De Niro plays an ex-operative who asks the right questions and still ends up in the crosshairs. The team? Fragile from the start. Spies, mercenaries, former agents, all with hidden motives. They plan a heist in Paris. It barely goes right. Then it goes very wrong. The betrayals come fast, but the cars move faster. What happens next isn't a chase scene, it's a war. Through narrow alleyways, wrong-way highways, tunnels that spit out fire, real cars, real stunts, real damage. Tires scream, metal shrieks, civilians scatter. One turn too wide and it's a body count. You feel every gear shift like a gunshot. Ronin doesn't care about spectacle. It cares about velocity. It's a movie that accelerates in silence, then explodes without warning. In a world bloated with green screens, this one kept it analog, and that makes every crash count. Underrated? Only because people remember the chase, but forget the game behind it. Ronin isn't about what's in the case. It's about what you become chasing it. Arnie Cunningham was nobody, picked on, overlooked, background noise in his own life. Then he bought Christine. A rusted-out 1958 Plymouth Fury rotting in a stranger's yard, broken glass, blood-red paint. Something about it called to him. He fixes it up, piece by piece, and as the car shines, so does he. His stutter fades, his posture straightens, the bullies back off, his confidence becomes something sharper, something dangerous. But Christine has rules. No one touches her. No one insults her. Anyone who gets too close, they die. Crushed. Burned, slammed into walls by a driverless engine with a jealous streak. The car protects Arnie, even from the people who love him. What started as teenage rebellion turns into full-blown possession. His eyes change, his voice lowers. He stops being the kid everyone ignored and becomes the thing they fear. Christine doesn't haunt houses. She stalks parking lots, alleys, highways. She doesn't creak. She roars. This isn't a ghost story, it's a transformation. A lonely boy and a cursed machine feeding off each other until they're both too far gone to stop. Underrated because people think it's about the car. But the real horror is watching Arnie disappear and realizing he likes it. He doesn't talk unless he has to. No name, no backstory, no reason to stay. In The Driver, there's a man who drives getaway cars, and that's it. He's not doing it for revenge, or money, or adrenaline. He's doing it because he's the best. So good the cops don't want to arrest him. They want to trap him, break him, make him lose control. But he won't. A detective sets the bait, a heist, a real gang, and a promise. If he takes the job, we've got him. But the driver doesn't flinch. He stares straight through you, like he's already 10 seconds down the road. Then there's her, the player. She's sharp, mysterious. She sees through the setup and steps in anyway. The driver saves her once. That's all. He doesn't ask questions. He just turns the key and vanishes into the night. Every chase in this movie feels like a standoff. No music, no flash, just screeching tires and silence. The streets echo. The engines roar. And when a car flips into a wall, it stays flipped. This isn't Hollywood polish. It's asphalt and oil. It came out in '78. It bombed. Audiences wanted wisecracks and explosions. They got a ghost behind the wheel. But now, it's a cult classic. Minimal, relentless, cold-blooded. Underrated? Absolutely. Unforgettable? Once you've seen it, try looking away. They killed him, beat him down, stole his girl, torched his ride, left nothing but ashes. But then, he comes back. Not as a boy, not as a ghost. As the Wraith, armored, silent, unrelenting. He doesn't speak, he drives. And every time his car appears a jet-black, otherworldly machine, it means someone's about to die. The gang? Local street racers who think they own the town. They take what they want. They race for pink slips and win with blood. But now, they're the ones being hunted. One by one. They get behind the wheel and don't come back. No witnesses. Just charred wreckage and melted metal. Sheriff can't explain it. Town's in shock. The gang starts turning on each other, and the girl, she starts noticing something familiar in the eyes of the quiet new kid who just rolled in. The Wraith isn't flesh, it's vengeance in gear form. Every chase is a countdown. Every crash is final. Underrated? Massively. Because people see the neon, the synths, the absurdity, and miss the engine beneath. It's not a revenge story with cars. It's a car movie possessed by revenge. And once that engine starts, you're already dead. They don't think it through. They don't need to. Mary's got a cigarette and a chip on her shoulder. Larry's got a race car and zero intention of finishing second. Together, they're dynamite without a timer. The job's simple. Hit a supermarket, get the cash, run. Clean and quick. But this crew doesn't do clean or careful. They get the money. And then they gun it. What follows is a sun-scorched chase through back roads and farmland with cops in the rear view and no exit signs in sight. Every turn is a dare. Every swerve is a middle finger to authority. They don't plan, they react, and they do it fast. Mary rides shotgun, mouth sharp, eyes sharper. She doesn't trust Larry, and he doesn't care. But together, they make sense in the most dangerous way. The third wheel? Their mechanic stuck in the back seat watching it all unravel while the speedometer climbs. There's no master plan, no big picture. Just escape, or crash trying. And then, just when you think it's over, the ending hits like a brick wall. Literally. Underrated? Absolutely. Overshadowed by flashier flicks, but this one's got a pulse, and it doesn't slow down. It's chaos with horsepower, rebellion on four wheels, and it doesn't care what happens next. Before he ever saw a racetrack, he was flying down back roads, outrunning cops with a trunk full of moonshine. That's where it starts. Not with fame, not with trophies, with survival. His name's Junior, but there's nothing small about him. He drives like the law's one step behind because it usually is. Then comes the offer. A shot at real racing. Sponsors, crowds, cameras. He takes it because he has to. But he doesn't change, doesn't fold his roots into something polite. He brings the rebel with him. The suits don't like it. The fans love it. The other drivers can't figure him out. He's too fast, too loose, too raw to be groomed. Every race is a gamble. He knows how to win, but more importantly, he knows how to run. And behind every lap is a past that still calls to him. Dirt roads, midnight runs, family that needs the money, even if it's not clean. He starts rising fast. But the question isn't can he win, it's can he stay himself? Underrated? Big time. This isn't Hollywood gloss. It's grease-stained southern fried racing with a real outlaw heart. Not a movie about NASCAR. A movie about why someone would risk everything to reach that checkered flag. No names, no motive, no face. In Duel, a regular guy is driving through the desert, radio on, tie loose, nothing urgent. Then a rusted-out tanker truck gets on his tail and never leaves. No horn, no signal, just relentless pursuit. He speeds up, it follows, he pulls over, it waits. It's not road rage, it's something darker. And the driver, we never see him, not once. That's what makes it terrifying. It's not a man anymore, it's a machine with hate under the hood. The car becomes a cage, the road a death trap. Every diner is a suspect pool. Every turn could be the last. The guy tries logic, manners, begging the cops. Nothing works. The truck is always there, always behind, until it strikes. Steven Spielberg directed this when he was 24. 24. Made for TV, but shot like a psychological thriller. Tight, vicious, unblinking. Every scene feels like it's about to snap, and somehow, it never does. Not until the end. When it came out in '71, it didn't get the love it deserved. Just a TV movie. But in the decades since, it's been studied, dissected, worshipped. Because Duel proved something early, Spielberg didn't need monsters or aliens or war. All he needed was a truck and a target. Underrated? More like undervalued genius. He's broke, washed up, living off fumes and second chances. Then he finds a car. Not a muscle car, not a hot rod, a Volkswagen Beetle. It sputters, it stalls, it saves his life. Herbie isn't just a car, he's alive. And he chooses his driver. At first, it's chaos. Doors slam shut by themselves, the horn honks without warning. Herbie gets jealous and vengeful. But when the races start, Herbie transforms. He's not supposed to win, but he does. Not supposed to beat Ferraris, but he does. Not supposed to have a soul, but somehow. Together, man and machine tear through the racing world like a joke no one saw coming. The elites laugh until Herbie puts them into a wall. And every time they try to scrap him, silence him, control him, he fights back. With oil, with speed, with heart. This movie's been dismissed as kids' fare, a silly little car. But under the Disney sugarcoat, there's rebellion. A machine that refuses to obey. Underrated because it's weird. Underrated because it's joyful. Underrated because it never plays by the rules. Which is exactly what makes it legendary. Herbie doesn't win because he's the best. He wins because he cares. Two-lane Blacktop, probably my favorite from the list. There's a race, but no one talks about who wins. In two-lane Blacktop, names don't matter. Characters are labeled the driver and the mechanic because that's all they are. A Chevy 150, stripped to its frame. No chrome, no ego, just speed. They drift across America like ghosts on an endless drag strip until they pick up her. The girl. She talks more than both of them combined, and every word she says pokes a hole in their steel-plated silence. Then GTO shows up, middle-aged, loud, full of lies. He challenges them to a cross-country race. No rules, no map. It's not about winning, it's about staying in motion. They pass through diners, gas stations, strangers' couches. No soundtracks, just engine noise and wind. No climactic finale, just a film reel that burns out, literally. The movie melts in front of you. And yet, it flopped when it came out. Too quiet, too strange, too empty. But in the 90s it was restored and found its people, those who knew that speed wasn't always about horsepower. Sometimes it was about escape. People call it boring. They're wrong. It's hypnotic, ruthless, stripped bare like the car itself. Underrated? Totally. Forgotten? For a while. But if you give it the gas, it still flies. Hit that like button if you've ever felt the pull of the open road.